Dear reader, I agree to turn my skin inside out, to reinvent every lost word, to burnish, to steal, to do what I must in order to singe your lungs. I will forego happiness, stab myself repeatedly, and lower my head into countless ovens. I will fade backwards into the future and tell you what I see. If it is bleak, I will lie so that you may live seized with wonder. If it is miraculous, I will send messages in your dreams, and they will flicker as a silver cottage in the woods, choked with vines of moonflower. Don't kill me, reader. This neck has been working for years to harden itself against the axe. This body, meager as it is, has lost so many limbs to wars, so many eyes and hearts to romance. But love me, and I will follow you everywhere, to the dusty corners of childhood, to every downfall and resurrection, till your skin becomes my skin. Let us be twins, our blood thumping after each other like thunder and lightning. And when you put your soft head down to rest, dear reader, I promise to always be there, humming in the dungeons of your auditory canals, an immortal mosquito hastening you towards fury, towards incandescence. This poem is for the Dirty Dancing fans, for you out here tonight. It's called Ode to Patrick Swayze. At 14, I wanted to devour you. The twang, the strut, the perfect proletarian butt in the black pants of you. I wanted a man like you to sashay into town and teach me how to be an aeroplane in water. I didn't want to be a baby. I wanted to be your baby. I wanted revenge. I wanted to sue my breasts for not living up to potential. I wanted Jennifer Grey to meet with an unfortunate end and not have a love affair with a ghost. At 14, I believed you'd given birth to the word preternatural, and when mother came home one day, waving her walking shoe, saying, I lost my soul in the Theosophical Society, I wanted to dance as recklessly as the underside of that shoe. I wanted to be a pebble in the soft heel of you, to horse whisper and live on a ranch in Texas and love my blonde wife forever and have creases around my eyes and experience at least one goddamn summer where I could be like the wind, sexy and untrammeled and dirty. And it was only after I found my own Johnny and got rid of him. Only yesterday, after rescuing a northern shoveler from crows on the beach, his broken wings squished against the crockery of my ribs. Only after setting him down at the edge of a canal where he sank into the long, patient task of dying did I realize what I wanted most was to be held by someone determined to save me, someone against whom I could press my unflourishing chest, who would offer me not just the time of my life, but who'd tear out reams of his yellowing pancreas and say, "Here, baby, eat." Find the poets. I arrived in a foreign land yesterday, a land that has seen troubles. Who hasn't, you might say? But this land, with its white houses and blue seas, where everything was born and now it seems everything could vanish. I wanted to find out the truth about how a great land like this could allow ancient columns to crumble and organ grinders to disappear. Find the poets, my friend said. If you want to know the truth, find the poets. But friend, where do I find the poets? In the soccer fields, at the seashore, in the bars, drinking. Where do the poets live these days? And what do they sing about? I looked for them in the streets of Athens, at the train station and by the flea market. I thought one of them might have sold me a pair of sandals. But he did not speak to me of poetry, only of his troubles, of how his house was taken from him, of all the dangers his children must now be brave enough to face. Find the poets, my friend said. They will not speak of the things you and I speak about. They will not speak of economic integration or fiscal consolidation. They could not tell you anything about the burden of adjustment, but they could sit you down and tell you how a poem is born in silence or sometimes in moments of great noise, of how they arrive like the rain unexpectedly cracking open the sky. They will talk of love, of course, as if it were the only thing that mattered, of chestnut trees and mountaintops and how much they miss their dead fathers. They will talk like they have been talking for centuries about holding the throat of life till all the sunsets and lies are choked out, till only the bones of truth remain. The poets, my friend, are where they have always been, living in paper houses along rivers and forests that are disappearing. And while you and I go on with life, remembering and forgetting, the poets remain singing, singing. This next poem is a newish one. In November this year, we will be marking the 100 years since the First World War. 1.5 million Indian soldiers served in that war, and we don't really study that much in India or in the rest of the world, and so I wrote a poem based on some of the letters I read of these soldiers writing home. And it's called Many Good and Wonderful Things. History, too, has a hard time remembering the black waters they crossed, the small mountain villages emptied of men. Death was different then. History is always reinventing itself. Say what you will, but clouds have remained more or less the same, And leaving home is still leaving home, whether it's on a jet plane or climbing the steep path behind the house with a roll of bedding on your back. But to die in a faraway place whose name you can't pronounce, for a king who isn't really yours, is a sadness history still hasn't figured out. History has been pushing for republics since Lucius Junius Brutus, but men are hardy is the point, or bull-headed. And you'd think the glories of lice making mansions in their shirts was a paradise they could do without. That trench living would make them walk across the front with arms held high, saying, "Take me quick, I wish only to enter the realms of God." History tries not to be sentimental, although letters give things away. One fool longed for a flute. The world is burning, but he wants to play. Others were gluttons, mercenaries, spies. The wise asked for opium, but right sweets or dainties, they said, otherwise the package might not reach. History needs to forget the dead who cover the earth in heaps of stones, who write, "Mother, is my parrot still alive? Mother, do not go wandering madly." Sometimes it feels as though the rain has been falling all your life, and the girl you married will tire of tending the cattle. Do not worry, this is war, where the women, like metaphors, are steadfast and beautiful. In history's version, she sits under the peepal tree, your Victoria Cross pinned to her sari. She has been waiting since 1918, and she is waiting still. So let us speak about love the way we always have, by asking, "Have you eaten, darling? And what price did you get for the goats? And of course I miss you, but the earth is hard and the sky distant, and if I had wings, I'd fly to you. In Marseille, they said we looked like kings." History cannot say what happens to men at war. So listen, at night I feed on stars. Do not ask about the cold. They have given me whale oil for my feet, and someone told me if I carried a piece of raw onion into battle, the bullets would not find me. Why the Brazilian butt lift won't save us. Do all of you know what the Brazilian butt lift is? They take fat from one part of your body and inject it into your bum. And people have died from this, so I advise against, and so does the poem. Why the Brazilian butt lift won't save us. The body refuses happiness. That was once upon a time. That was long ago when you could run naked through a field without consternation, you and your perfectly sized baby parts. The body grows dissatisfied once it starts towering over dogs and staring into the hearts of kitchen counters. Pretty soon, your altar body is calling from a downtown phone booth, saying, "Listen, baby, you need to step up the retinoids." We know, don't we, that a forest is being truncheoned as we speak, that a girl in that forest is being truncheoned too, a girl or 100, that all the words we have for "my heart can't take it anymore" won't be able to describe what happens to the body at the end of that. Still, The body wants to be glorious while it can. It sees lips burgeoning like a Hiroshige wave and thinks, I'll have some of that. It sees bones Caravaggio might have dreamed of, and micro-bladed eyebrows, and neat marble apples the size of a generously cupped hand, and says, yes, yes, yes. But mostly, it sees Kim Kardashian's ass rising like a mountain out of the Atlantic, and thinks, I too want to oversee a metropolis. And why shouldn't it? Aren't we all trying to get back to a time before the blemishes, when the body was a carefree skeleton with no stretch marks and pristine platelet-rich hair, an origami crane built to withstand the damaging effects of light, gusting on thermals to fly against any mushroom cloud? So what's a few small wounds to the forehead? What's a needle the size of your life?
Girls are coming out of the woods, wrapped in cloaks and hoods, carrying iron bars and candles and a multitude of scars collected on acres of premature grass and city buses, in temples and bars. Girls are coming out of the woods with panties tied around their lips, making such a noise it's impossible to hear. Is the world speaking too? Is it really asking, what does it mean to give someone a proper resting? Girls are coming out of the woods, lifting their broken legs high, leaking secrets from unfastened thighs. All the lies whispered by strangers and swimming coaches and uncles, especially uncles who said spreading would be light and easy, who put bullets in their chests and fed their pretty faces to fire, who sucked the mud clean off their ribs and decorated their coffins with briar. Girls are coming out of the woods, clearing the ground to scatter their stories. Even those girls found naked in ditches and wells, those forgotten in neglected attics, and buried in riverbeds like sediments from a different century. They crawl their way out from behind curtains of childhood, the silver pink weight of their bodies pushing against water, against the sad feathered tarnish of remembrance. Out of the woods, the way birds arrive at morning windows, pecking and humming, until all you can hear is the smash of their minuscule hearts against glass, the bright desperation of sound, bashing, disappearing. Girls are coming out of the woods. They're coming. They're coming.
Wonderful audience. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone here at the Betel Lodge. It's such an amazing space for performance, for art. Thank you for having me. Thank you to the Ubud Writers Festival. I have very few books. I'll be signing outside if anybody's interested. And thank you again. You've been wonderful. The graceful dancer as always.
Can we get a big more applause for Tishani Doshi? Thank you, Tishani, for your amazing performance. And for everyone, the next performance in this venue will be Aroma Karsa at 8 p.m. But for those of you who wants to watch the performance from the Lestari, the musical storytelling, we will set up the venue first. So we would like to ask you to go out and wait until 8 p.m. until we open the door. And thank you so much. We will open the door at 8 p.m. on time. We want it to start on time. So hang around in front and say it again. Oh, sorry guys, 8:30. So you got time if you want to have a little snack or if you want to get some food at the front. We will start the Lestari musical storytelling Aroma Karsa at 8:30 p.m. We will open the gate at 8:30. So we will set up the venue now. Thank you everyone for joining in, and see you at 8:30. Thank you.
Velvet, that's also di depan main.